And we're live.
Hey, everybody, we're back.
Episode 038.
Yes, sir. You love us, we love us, they love us.
Everyone loves us.
I love us.
I love us. I think we're great.
I think we're pretty awesome.
And we're live.
Oh, there we are.
Oh, yep. Feedback.
Feedback.
All right, there we go.
Yeah, so can you see us? I can't see us on here.
I can see us.
Okay, as long as you can
We're
see
up
us.
now.
I don't know if our fans can.
Yeah, they can.
Oh, there we are.
All right.
See us now.
So this is a special double episode tonight.
Yes.
Yep, we just did episode 37. Now we're doing episode 38.
Yep.
And last episode we talked about the brotherhood
Yep.
and all the things that go along with that and the disappointments that we faced and
Yep.
all that. So this is going to be controversial a little bit
Uh-oh.
to our police friends.
Okay.
All right.
Some of them. Some of
Some
them
of
will
them.
agree with us. Some of us won't. That's
I
why
know
we do the podcast.
I know Jared Reston will agree with us
Okay.
on this.
Yeah, for sure.
But community-oriented policing.
Okay.
Is it a success? Is it a failure? Could it be better? Is the version that's getting pushed out there in the world the right way to do things? What do you think?
What's the question? What's the first one you want me to go after?
I don't remember what I said.
Okay, so community-oriented
Community-oriented potatoes.
community-orientated
God,
policing.
2 beers.
That's bad.
That's terrible.
That's horrible.
It's beer.
Yeah, it's strong. It's probably been in your refrigerator. It's probably aged.
It's aged. Aged Dos Equis.
Aged Dos Equis.
Yeah.
Community-orientated policing. So, does it work? I would say it's almost like communism. On
Wow.
paper. Well, listen, wait. I'm not going to say it's communism, but it's almost like communism in the sense
Well, somebody will be in the chief's office tomorrow.
that on paper, it looks really good. And it should work.
Right.
Because you're telling the community and the police officers that work in this community to get more involved. You're telling the police officers, getting more involved with your community. Learn about your community. Learn what makes them work. Learn why, they're so standoffish when it comes to cops. Learn, the neighborhoods that they think are bad and need
Sure.
more patrols.
Sure.
And it looks really good on policing. We're going to interact with them on social media platforms, and we're going to have cup of coffee with a cop. We're going to have donut with a cop. We're going to have all these things,
Right.
and it's going to be great. And you know what? When I look at that, I'm like, yeah, that really should work. That really looks good. That's something that I think people will get into. But when you actually start to do it, the people that already like cops are the people that show up to that.
Right.
The people that don't like cops, they're the minority that don't show up to it.
Sure.
So you might have the one guy who's on the fence, who's not really sure if he likes cops, and then he goes to that, and then he kind of goes, well, they're just goofy. How is this person going to police us? Or they walk away with this like, you know what? He's just like me. And I know it's the small victories, and it's the one person that we can change, but you have to look at the resources. And that's what I feel like. I feel like we're putting these officers out there, and some of them don't want to do it. Some of them aren't personable.
Well,
Some of them aren't even likable.
A lot don't want to do it.
Yeah, a lot don't want to do it. And some of them aren't even personable. Like, yeah, I'm going to use you an example.
Yeah.
When people meet you, they don't know if you're nice or friendly
No.
because of your facial features.
Well,
I'm
I'm guilty of resting bitch face.
You are guilty of resting bitch face. But if someone was get to know you, they'd be like, you know what, Officer Farrell is really fucking cool. Oh. I'm so sorry. We're live.
Well, now the world knows my name.
Now the world knows your name. How many viewers we got on there? One person knows your name. Well, JC is a really nice, great guy, and I love him, and he's cool, and he's awesome, and he's the best. He's the bee's knees, which I did. When I first met you, I was like, this dude fucking hates me. I was like, this dude fucking hates me. And then 2 days in the car with you, I went home to my ex-wife, and I was like, this dude is the fucking greatest. He's hilarious. He's one of the fucking guys. He's really cool. He's a cop's cop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think if the community got to know you, that would be it. But that's not the interaction they're having with you. They're not riding in a car with you for 2 days.
Well,
They're eating a donut with you, and they're asking you, do you like being a cop? What do you think the problems in this neighborhood are? And you can't give them the real answers because some of them don't even know that those problems exist.
do they want to hear the real
Do they even
answer?
want to hear the real answers?
Here's, you're right. You're absolutely right in your comparison. Communism, socialism could look good on paper.
Looks great on paper. Everybody gets a
well,
fair
not
shake.
communism. I'd say socialism is probably a little more attractive on paper.
On paper, yeah.
Right. But is the product we're putting out
Yeah.
what you think it was intended to be? So there's not a lot. There may be. I don't know. Maybe I'm speaking out of my ass here, but I don't think there's a lot of varying opinions on community-oriented policing. I think most people look at community-oriented policing on a surface level. They hear the name and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's great. That's what it should be.
That's what
this is how you police a community." Blah blah blah. And you brought it up: coffee with a cop, donut with a cop, shop with a cop,
Yeah.
tip a cop. There's all these things out there, right? But there's a problem in that, in my opinion, right? The problem in that, in my opinion, is that we're creating this false sense of friendship.
Yeah, I think that there should be a squadron dedicated to that.
Well, in your larger departments, often
Yeah.
they have something that's similar to the military civil affairs units. They have
Yeah.
their community affairs unit, neighborhood policing officers, whatever you want to call it, right? They deal with those issues. I'm not saying that's the right way either. I
Yeah.
don't know that it is the right way.
Yeah.
But when I look at the way we put ourselves out there, right, where we're looking for, where I feel it's become for a lot of places, is we're looking for these social media opportunities to paint a light on these various police departments.
Yeah.
To show, hey, we're part of the community, we're part of the team, blah, 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 blah. And that's all it is.
Yeah.
It's a facade.
Yeah. And
It's a facade.
And I think where it came from, it's rooted in a great place and it's rooted in our history, is you had the beat cop. The guy who used to walk down the street and he knew
Right.
everybody's name. And if they had a problem, they could come to Officer McFriendly.
Right.
And he still handled the law. He still was a really good guy. And they were like, we don't have any problems here because Officer McFriendly, he's got this block sewed up. And that was the real. And I feel...
But I think a lot of people didn't realize back in the day with Officer McFriendly is that when Officer McFriendly was patrolling those beats on foot at night and he sees that mugger, he was beating that mugger's ass.
Yeah, but they were cool with that.
But nobody cared.
Nobody cared because he's a bad guy.
Right.
And that's what you're supposed to do to bad guys. You're supposed to beat him and put him in jail.
Right. Well, beat him,
Well, that's what he was doing
But I
back
mean,
in
that's
the
what
day.
he was
He was
doing.
clubbing him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Getting the, I'm going to need a box. Stuff him, cuff him and stuff him. That's where it all came from.
Sure.
You know what I mean? That's where it came from. That's where it's rooted. And that's, I feel
But that point right there, right, was that effective?
I think back then it was.
Sure.
I think definitely back then because you had smaller communities and you had one or two officers that walked in that beat and they knew those people.
Right.
And that was,
And
as we
those
say in law
neighborhoods-
enforcement, that was their cop.
Right. And those neighborhoods knew each other.
Yes.
That was back in the day when neighbors knew each other.
And he lived in the apartment building or right down the street
Right.
from them. They could even go and knock on his door if they needed to.
Right.
Hey, we've got a fire. Oh, let me get on my radio and my underwear and call for a fire truck. You know, that was what his job was. He was a full-time cop. He was 24 hours. He never let it go.
To me, that is the essence of what community-oriented policing
That's what it's, and I feel like
is
that's
supposed to be.
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be.
So where we fail people, in my opinion, is, again, we look for these social media opportunities.
Yeah, we look for this instant gratification.
Social media has become such a fabric in our society, such a makeup of how we view things and how we form our opinions and how we view the world, that we've lost sight of what the real world actually is. I can take pictures of cops all day long with kids and at these little functions and at the schools and blah, 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 blah. And I'm showing you what I want you to see.
Yeah.
I'm showing you this image, and I saw it on social media. It must be fucking real.
But
right?
that's what's crazy about that is that's how people feel nowadays. Well, if it's on social media, it must be that's how the police department is.
Right, but what positive other than a photo opportunity, other than these guys are cool, what has it really accomplished?
I don't think that it's accomplished what they wanted to accomplish. I think that in their mind that it's going to accomplish that golden era of the community-orientated police officer, but it just doesn't. To me, sometimes it comes off as disingenuous.
That is perfect.
I think it comes off as disingenuous because you're looking for a photo op.
Right.
And I don't think that's what community policing is all about. I think community policing should be more of the town hall forums. and more of the sit down with the chiefs.
I agree.
Talk, I'd much rather have a panel board where, hey, once a month we're going to have 3 or 4 officers up here and you can talk to them about what you think is going on in your communities, and we're here to help you. We're not here to take photos with you right now.
Right.
If you see us out in the community, you want to take a photo, great, I'm all for that.
Right.
But I think if you want to help the community, you need to actually help the community.
Sure.
And then be embedded with the community. Put on functions that aren't geared towards giving out candy and giving out sodas and gumdrops. It should be more of like, hey, we're going to go in this community and we're going to help this community clean up the neighborhood.
Right.
We're going to try to make this community look good, because if it looks good, then people are going to care more about it.
Sure.
Instead of, and I don't need my picture taken picking up trash.
No.
I'm just trying to help out.
Right.
And sometimes that goes along further with the community than just letting them sit in my car and pass out stickers.
Well, we're looking, when you look at it, you made 2 basic points right there, right? So you have the surface and then you have the substance, right?
Yeah.
What's under that surface? If I'm looking for photo ops, if I'm constantly at these places going, hey, can we get some pictures with the kids or blah, 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 it's a feel-good moment.
Yeah.
But that's all it is. There's
That's
nothing
all
else
it is.
behind
There's
it.
no substance behind it.
Right.
I definitely agree with you. There's no substance, because I didn't even learn anything about those kids. I didn't even learn their name. Did they even learn mine?
Does it even matter? I handed out some stickers. I handed out some stickers. I took some pictures. It's on Facebook. It's on Instagram. It's on Twitter.
Is it going to make those kids more comfortable to talk to me? Maybe.
Well, and everybody puts their little, 4 or
love
5 word comment.
I love seeing things like this. This is awesome.
This is how policing's supposed to be. Blah blah blah.
But I didn't do anything. I didn't police anything. I didn't affect the community.
What problems were solved?
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing. What problems of yours did I address?
Yeah.
Nothing. I showed that I'm a friendly guy. Right?
Yeah, and I guess if that's what you're going after, then sure, that's awesome. But
if that's your mission, sure,
yeah.
I guess. But how are you serving your community in that way? If we're sitting here, in every cop in America that works for a community took an oath, they put their hand up when they were sworn into that community that they would serve the citizens of that community and the state in which they were a sworn peace officer in, right?
Yeah.
But we're failing them.
Yeah, we definitely are.
We're failing them in one major way.
We only show up when something bad happens.
Right. So that gives me a good impression of, I saw that officer over at the school and he took pictures with my kids and now he's here on this call dealing with something. Is there merit to that? Yes. But on a surface level.
Yeah.
Because it's just like what you're talking about. Town hall meetings, panel boards, whatever it is.
Yep.
Right? Now, I understand that there's certain communities that are so small, right? You can't assign an officer to specific neighborhoods or whatever.
Yeah.
There's a different method for that, but when you have a community that's big enough where you have subdivisions, right?
Yeah.
In my opinion, and this is gonna sound crazy to some people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not comparing the two, so I want everybody to understand that I'm not comparing the two in any way, shape, or form, with the exception of certain things, and I'll get to that. But back in, I think it was 2000. Correct me if I'm wrong. I may be wrong. Maybe you don't know. Somebody out there correct me. 2007, 2008-ish into 9-ish. What you saw in the drastic reduction in violence in Iraq was the counterinsurgency program.
Yeah.
Right? Where you had troops that were moving into the neighborhoods. They were creating cops.
Yep.
Cops, right?
Yep.
Community outposts.
Yep.
In these community outposts, the troops lived with the community, with that neighborhood.
No, yeah, I was in one of those.
Right. They employed members of the community that were trustworthy in order to help be neighborhood watches, on top of feed information to the troops so that they can go and correct whatever the issue is.
Yeah, when I was with there at ACR, I stayed on it's not even a fob, it's a cob, and that's what you go out and do. And then they would be like, hey, you want to go on a mission? We're going to go out to some of these police stations at night, and we're going to try to get some intel from them and see what they've got. And then tomorrow, when we wake up, we're going to go out into this community, and we're going to be a presence with these cops, and we're going to try to address some of these issues.
Sure, and some people listening to this will be stuck on what I just said.
Yeah.
Counterinsurgency, this is not a war zone. I get that. But the principle's the same.
Yeah.
Okay? So if I take cops, right? I take police officers and I say, okay, I have this X number of officers and I have this X number of subdivisions, right? Trailer parks, whatever you want to call it, these particular areas in a community where you have little communities within the community, right?
Yeah.
You break it down one community at a time. You say, this officer, that's yours. This officer, that place is yours. This officer, that place is yours. Obviously, you have your other duties, but any concerns and issues that come up in this area are yours to address and formulate a plan with the people that live there, the community leaders within those neighborhoods, the HOAs, whatever, to come up with plans in order to have crime prevention, right?
Yeah.
One of the major things that I think is lost on law enforcement today in a lot of these communities is the insane concept of crime prevention.
Yeah.
What are we doing? We're responding to calls. We're writing tickets on traffic enforcement. And then we're taking photo ops with kids, right? But what is that solving at the end of the day? To me, it's not solving a lot.
No.
You're putting a Band-Aid on the bigger issue, right? So if I take officers, command staff included, and I go out to these particular communities one at a time, these one concentrated little areas at a time, and I organize with those people and I say, hey, listen, who are your community leaders? Who here runs the HOAs? Who here runs the trailer park? Who here runs the whatever? Right? Here's what I want to do. I want to sit down with you and I want to formulate a plan. I want to learn about what issues you're having, issues that people aren't calling us about.
Yeah.
I want to learn about who your bad apples are. I want to learn about,
the houses you see cars coming in and out of.
Yeah, who's in need?
Yeah.
Who needs things?
Right? And then you can also have that. I mean, you can go a step further. You can have that officer actually go, if there's time permitted, to a couple of houses that they say these houses are people we think are in need.
Right.
And going, hey, I'm Officer JC and BigBo, just here to talk to you. See if there's anything I can help you with. Here's my card. Right. If you ever need anything, feel free to call and ask for me. These are my schedules. These are the days I normally work and the times I normally work. Not that any of my other partners won't help you out, but if you just want to speak with me,
sure,
here you go.
Right.
And I don't need to take a picture with you.
Where are we having issues, right? And then after you talk to these people, right, these community leaders, and you say, hey, listen, here's what we need to do. All right, now let's hold a forum. Let's invite the people.
Yeah.
Get the people of this community together, one community at a time.
Yeah.
On a small scale. And then you address those issues. And then you help them understand, hey, we've partnered with the managers of this park, or we've partnered with the HOA, or we've done in order to help facilitate whatever your issues are. What are your issues?
What's so crazy that you bring that up with like working with the leaders and counterinsurgency? It's so crazy because so we'll go all the way back in history, and then I'll bring it back to Ferguson. But if you go back in history and you look at the Black Panthers, originally they started out with, we want to actually work with police.
Right.
Because our communities are being over-policed because we have a lot of bad apples. And we would actually like to work with you in building relations with communities, but we want to do it this way.
Right.
And no one listened to them. There were very many people that were standoffish because they were like, well, this is a radical black group. And it didn't start off that way at first. It was a different time. It was a different time. And these people were like, well, we don't want all these cops. And then it started being, well, it's the cops versus us.
Right.
And that's bad. But then you move all the way up into Ferguson. And one thing I will never forget when I was watching all that happen and all the riots and CNN and stuff, was there was a couple of community leaders that were like, we don't condone any of this. We don't want any of this. We understand that it's bad, but we actually want to work with the police, and we actually want to help rebuild our neighborhoods now.
Right.
Because we see that it's in such disarray. And like you said with the counterinsurgency, how we were going out in those communities and giving people jobs, that's what a lot of those people in Ferguson were rioting about, too.
And what did you see
in
those neighborhoods?
Wanted jobs.
But what did you see in those neighborhoods in Iraq?
Families come to you. because the families are like, these people aren't bad. They're here to actually help us out. We want to help them. And in turn, they do kind of help rebuild the neighborhood and give people jobs. And when people get jobs and people start being employed in those neighborhoods, they start caring about those neighborhoods.
Right.
And then they start leaning on you more to help them out until they no longer need that crutch. And then you can kind of step away, and then you still just keep the relationship with the leaders and the community.
Right.
And they know that you're there and you're their officer.
Right. I've said it before on this podcast, and I'll say it again. And I really believe this. Obviously, the military and the law enforcement in this country are two completely separate things.
Yeah.
And they should be.
Oh, 100%.
Right? We're not soldiers.
No.
We're not Marines. We're not any of those things. We're not an occupying force.
No.
Right? We serve at the pleasure of the community.
We're like the Coast Guard.
We're the Coast Guard.
We're the Coast Guard.
The police only have power in a community as long as the community allows them to. We saw that in Ferguson.
Yeah.
We saw that in St. Louis.
Yeah.
We've seen it in Baltimore. We've seen it in the
Chicago.
past in Chicago and Los Angeles, and we've seen it all over the place. We've seen it to a small degree, which maybe people don't know on a national scale, but we've seen it even in Dallas.
Yeah.
When you look, but there's things that the military has accomplished that law enforcement can learn from.
Oh, yeah.
And vice versa, right?
Yeah.
Because the two communities are intertwined, no matter which way you want to look at it.
Yeah.
The police are a paramilitary structured force.
And then
right?
the police force gets a lot of prior service.
And the police is full of veterans,
yeah.
right? But, and again, fortunately I didn't get any kickback from this, but I'll say it again. We have to be, in our communities, we have to be warrior diplomats.
Yeah.
Who in the military are warrior diplomats? The Green Berets. That's one of their nicknames, warrior diplomat, right? What do the Green Berets do? The Green Berets insert into a foreign population, they identify the leaders, and then they work with those leaders to help build the community, build alliances, and solve problems.
Yeah.
Right? How is that different from what police are supposed to do?
I agree.
Obviously, we're not running combat operations, so let's take all that nonsense out.
Yeah.
Right? On a very simple level of principles.
Yeah, we're not.
How is that different?
Fighting insurgents, but we're fighting bad people.
We're fighting criminals, right?
Yeah, we're fighting criminals.
Which
people that are there to hurt the community.
Which some could say, you could argue that criminals are the insurgents of our society.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Again, everyone here's an American for the most part. So obviously they have constitutional rights, and obviously we have to operate in the confines of those. Those are our rules. Those are our rules of engagement, the Constitution, right?
Yep.
And the state laws in which we operate in.
Yeah.
But in that, there's certain principles that exist that are very similar.
Yeah.
And there's lessons that could be learned. Cops have to be everything. Because a cop has to be the guy that if a shootout happens, he's got to be accurate.
Yeah.
Right? Because every round has a lawyer attached to it, as you've heard a million times in different training.
Yeah.
Right? You have to be a good shooter. You have to be a good tactician. You have to be a good strategist.
You got to be a lawyer.
You got to be a diplomat.
Yep.
Because what are you doing? You're keeping the peace, right?
Yeah.
That's your primary function, is to keep the peace. So you have to be able to work with others in order to accomplish a goal, a common goal, right?
Yeah.
The goals are set, common goals are set by the community that you serve, right? If you don't agree with it, well, it's America. Go work somewhere else.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
But if you do agree with it and you want to help the problem, you want to serve people,
yeah,
the best way, in my opinion, to enact community-oriented policing is to embed with the community. Not on a social media level, though that does play a role as a tool.
Well, yeah.
But, again, going back to meeting with community leaders, then meeting with the community, hearing what their problems are. Hey, maybe the problems in this community are not crime-related. Maybe the problems in this community are we're sick and tired of whatever, water drainage, this and that. Okay, I can connect you to the right people.
Yep.
Then you start inviting other city services in there.
Yeah.
You start saying, hey, you know, your public works departments or your public or streets departments or whatever
your
it is.
municipal water districts.
Yeah, bringing them in and saying, hey, look, this is what these people are facing. You know, they want to talk about it. And as long as you can do that civilly and constructively, right?
You win over the community.
You win over the community. They know that at the end of the day, you're there for them.
Yep.
Now,
and I think that with social media, I think that in passing out stickers and doing photo ops, I think it is a way. I just think it's ass backwards.
Right,
I think you have to help the community before you should get the photo op.
Right.
Because once you get the photo op, the problems take the backseat.
Sure.
But if you're helping them with their problems, and then in that community you want to do a national night out,
right,
or you want to do trick-or-treating, or you want to do sit in my car, donut with a cop, it's better because the problem has been solved,
right,
and now we're just meeting to make sure that you don't have any new problems. And we're taking a photo op because I'm with the leaders in the community, and they're saying, hey, this cop actually helped us get this drainage problem fixed.
Mm-hmm.
We decided to have a cup of coffee with him and talk about some other stuff that's going on in the community now. Right. That we hope he can help us with in the future.
Sometimes it takes one person to motivate and move a community.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And sometimes that person can be a police officer.
Yeah.
You know, if you have a small community, a trailer park, typically those are low income on average.
Yep.
And you have families in there that are struggling.
Apartment complexes.
Whatever. Exactly, yeah. Opening the conversation opens the door for non-police related things to get solved.
Yeah.
Think of community-oriented policing is about bringing the community together, right?
Exactly.
But there has to be an understanding. Where I think we fail is we're trying to present the image of friendship and not the image of partnership.
Yes.
Because there's a difference.
That's good. Right? I will agree with you there.
Because
we're trying to be friendly without being partners.
Hey, Susie and
because I get to go home.
Yeah, hey, Susie and her little daughter, right? That we took pictures and passed pictures out to and put it all over social media to show what a kinder, gentler, friendlier police department we are, right?
They don't have nothing to eat in the refrigerator.
But then I got to respond to a call at her house.
Yep.
And I got to arrest Daddy for whatever, or Mommy for whatever, and now I'm the bad guy.
Exactly.
Right. There has to be this understanding that there's not friendship here.
There's a partnership to make the community better.
It's a partnership to make the community as a whole better. The interests of the community, right, from our end, are what matters. Because there's going to be times when we're going to piss off so-and-so that thought we were friends, but we're not friends because now I'm putting you in jail. You know what I mean? There are consequences. But those things have to be understood at the same time.
Yeah.
Those principles, it's not just a matter of, hey, I'm here to help you. I am here to help you.
And sometimes helping you is arresting you.
And sometimes it is. But they understand that, hey, listen, you're a member of this community, right? And if you know, and this is not a threat, and it's not something that you really need to harp on, but it's something that needs to be understood, that there are consequences to certain actions. There are consequences to breaking certain laws.
Yeah.
Now, minor stuff, you know, maybe there's a way we can work out between the police department and the community to mitigate, create city ordinances, whatever, in order to create them from becoming bigger issues.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what that's for. Like,
but you beat on your wife, or you rob somebody, or you steal from somebody.
You're going to jail.
Going to fucking jail.
I can't help you having 10 chickens in your yard.
At the same time, though, and this is where it gets slippery, this is where it gets muddy, this is where that gray area really starts to come in my mind, is that now we've created these partnerships, right? Now we're embedded in the community, we're helping the community. But I'm assigned to this community, and I know that this family over here has some particular problems, and they got a son who is a piece of shit, and he does all sorts of bad things, and I got to deal with him.
See, and I think that when those partnerships and that community-orientated policing comes in, I think that family is more apt to work with you because they know that you're there to actually help the community. Yep. And this kid of theirs, no matter how much they love him, he needs help.
Right.
And you're there to actually help him and the community that family.
But they understand at the same time that if kid gets froggy and I got to get froggy back.
Yeah, I think everybody knows that. And I think actually...
But I don't know that they do. And I think
actually that kid knowing you and his family knowing you, I think that actually helps because
he goes,
I'm not going to get froggy with him because I know him. He feels that he knows you. You feel that you know him. And you can actually talk to him in a way where the handcuffs magically go on.
But what's good about that, right? What's great about that is the fact that, that problem gets addressed, right? And the family understands.
Yeah.
The community understands. But then you have these bad guys that come into the community and move into the community. They're outsiders, right? Hey, these people moved down here now. We don't know them.
Yeah.
They do some weird shit. Can you look into it? Well, we have limits on how much we can look into it, which people don't understand.
Yeah.
Education,
Yep.
I think, is key in that.
Yep.
We need to educate people.
Well, what's so weird about them? I don't know. They just keep to themselves, okay? You
Well,
notice
leave it
any
alone.
strange cars coming out?
Right.
Yeah, not really. What do? They kind of stay up late. And they play music. Oh, look, I'd love to help you. When you hear the loud music, give us a call. We can go and talk to them.
Right.
Tell them turn it down. We can help the
And it
community
gives us
in
an
that
in.
way. It gives us an in. And then you can go back to the community and be like, man, they're just some young kids, or they're just, where they're from, that's the norm.
Right.
Nothing bad about those people, and it helps the community.
Sure.
And it shows that you still care.
But when those bad apples, those little cancers invade the community,
yes,
when you
those are the
have to
ones-
deal with them harshly,
Yep.
and you should, the community rallies behind you.
Exactly.
Because they're like, hey, we got a good thing going here. We have a police department that takes care of us. We have a police department that's here to support us. And these people over here,
Crime rates
they're
have
doing
lowered.
bad things.
Property values have gone up. It's a win-win.
We don't want this in our neighborhood.
Nope.
Y'all do what you got to do, right? There's an old adage, and I'm going to screw it up, but it's, there's, rough men standing guard at night, so that you can sleep safely. But there's also another one that has to do with policing in particular, is we want police officers to do all these things, but we don't want to see how they do it.
Exactly.
Right? Because then we become upset about it.
Yeah.
There's truth to that, right?
And like you said, I think it's education.
But it comes down to education, because when
Yeah.
getting that community rallying behind you, that support, right?
Yeah.
To me, investing yourself, because as we talked about in the last episode about the brotherhood, right?
Yeah.
It's a point we didn't touch on, is that this career path is for people that truly belong in it, is a calling.
Yeah.
And
they
you
want to
have
help
to,
people.
and you have to invest more of yourself than you would in virtually any other job. There are
Yeah.
other jobs out there. I'm not discounting those. There's some of the, the medical field, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, teachers, all that kind of stuff. They
Oh, God,
invest
man.
a ton of themselves.
Teachers invest a lot of themselves, man.
But you have to make it work. Why? Because you serve the public.
Because
right?
you care. Because you genuinely care.
Because you give a shit.
I actually just had to sit down with a kid today in one of my principals, and he was being very disrespectful to me and her.
Mm-hmm.
And she straight up told him, she was like, look, maybe no one else has cared enough to not let you act like this, but I actually care about you.
Right.
And I've got you for the next 3 years.
Right.
So guess who cares about you? We're going to fix this problem of yours, and you're going to leave this place a lot better than you came to it.
Yeah.
And like his face was like shocked, like he had never heard anyone cared about him like that.
Right.
And that helps. Like, and she's not letting him slide, and she's not going to let him just do what he wants to do.
And you're not going to help everyone.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to reach everybody.
Right now.
Like I said, when you have the cookie with a cop, and the guy who's on the fence about cops comes, and he's like, JC's a real good dude. I like him a lot.
Yeah.
You've
I mean,
turned one person.
I mean, we have a guy in the community that we work in, that lives in a particular apartment complex. He's an old vet, but and I've really done nothing for him. If you really look at it, I've done nothing for him other than answer a couple of calls, and helped him out the best I could, and saw him walking down the street one day. He's got a lot of medical problems, and he collapsed on the ground from heat exhaustion. And I stopped and got him medics and all that kind of stuff. But other than that, I mean, other than routine things that we normally do, I haven't done anything special for this guy. But every time he sees me, he tells me that I'm his hero. And he even told our bosses the same thing.
Yeah.
At a veterans event.
Yeah.
That I'm his hero. And every time he sees me, he shakes my hand and tells me that I'm his hero.
Yeah.
So
I got a vet I go see in our neighborhood once a month because he had a bad day at the VA.
Mm-hmm.
Went in there. They didn't give him the help he thought he needed, and they
Right.
probably didn't because it's the VA, and sometimes they can treat you pretty shitty.
Right.
I got a call that he was, possibly this, possibly that. Went there, and you know what he wanted? He wanted to talk to somebody. Man, I spent like 45 minutes on this dude's front porch just chopping it up with him. So, and I told him from there on out, I was like, dude, once a month I'm just going to come see you. We can chop it up for 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And I do that, and I check out, and I go in there, and I talk with him. And
there's another individual that lives in that same area, right, who literally has tons of problems with cops.
Yeah.
But when he sees me, he calms down, and he talks. Because I'll talk to him. I talk to him like he's a human being.
Yeah.
Right? It's a simple,
guy hates my guts.
Simple gesture of respect is all it is. But for some reason, I was able to connect with him
in a certain way. Sometimes.
But to me, that's real community-oriented policing.
Exactly, 100%.
Because you've invested in someone.
Yeah.
Even if you take our little concept of embedding yourself truly in the community. Not a photo op, but truly embedding yourself in it. Even if it's just one person. Even if you're only able to get through to one person. To me, that is the essence of what community-oriented policing is.
Dude, like that dude, when I talk to him, I have such a soft... when I talk to that vet, I have such a soft spot for that dude. Because I'm like, this dude's really going through it. He's really seen some stuff. He's really been through life. He had a hard military... He's got scars and surgeries all over his body. And all he ever wants to do is just someone to listen to him.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. And I can't relate to him on much.
Yeah.
But on a basic human level of understanding. And that's a huge deal, right? To me, it's a huge deal. To me, that's how you get the job done.
Yeah.
It's not about fucking dancing videos. It's not about lip-syncing videos. It's not about all this silly shit that we do.
Which, like I said, is cool if you've already won the community over.
It is if
you've won the community over and that community knows you've got their back.
I feel like
because then those people who are watching those videos are like, look at those guys. I know that dude. He's arrested my son. He's a great guy.
Yeah, they're being silly.
They're being silly.
At the same time,
they're showing that they can be silly just like us. But there are some good guys.
But like when we had Jared Reston on the show.
Yeah.
Right? Like he has a totally different opinion of that.
Does not believe that belongs in policing at all, period.
And I agree with him on certain levels.
Yeah, 100%.
I really do. Because all it does is it portrays us as we're trying so hard to entertain people that we're missing the mark on what it is that we're here to do.
Yeah.
We're here to police.
Yeah.
Right? We are a consequence to certain actions.
Actions that you've chosen.
Actions that you've chosen. I didn't choose that. No. You chose that, and guess what? One of the avenues of that, one of the consequences of that, or rewards, is a meeting with me.
Yeah.
Or you. Or others like us. We're not an occupying force.
No.
We're not beating people down. I will say it, and I'll say it, one of the greatest socially engineered lies in modern history is what the modern police officer does. In a community of almost 1 million police officers in the United States, statistically speaking, you're playing the odds that there's going to be some shitheads.
Yeah, of course.
Right? That are going to do some bad things.
Yeah.
And there gets extra scrutiny on it because of the authority and position of our job. Our job is not a low-profile job. It's a super high-profile job. Because if I shoot somebody, it's everywhere.
Not only that, but I'm glad you kind of segued into that because I'm going to segue into something else. I was just thinking the other day because I dropped my kids off to school, driving to work, blah, blah, blah. And I hear this dude in the truck next to me, and he's listening to a song by a rapper, and the dude is going in on cops.
Yeah.
And he's like, fuck you, you ain't shit without that fucking badge. You're a punk, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, that's cool. That's his First Amendment right. Yeah. And everyone jams that. That dude's bumping it, and he's right by the local PD that's in that area, and he's feeling himself. He feels good. He wants somebody to say something to him. But now, if I were to come out with a song that was like, fuck you, fucking gangbangers, and blah, 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 be all over the news.
Yeah.
That's my First Amendment right. And it's just like, I think that's the part where it gets messed up at, because they don't see us as human beings. Sometimes.
Right.
Criminals don't see us as human beings. And I think that's where the whole community-orientated policing that we have now tries to show people.
Your true...
But it's not It's not working.
Your true criminals
Are always going to be.
At the end of the day, I don't care if they see us as human beings or not.
No.
Because we're a barrier to their goals, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But that's part of what we're here for.
Exactly.
We're here to do that.
You know, and
Right.
and it's so funny to me that this dude's listening to that guy who's a multimillionaire and pays for private security.
Right. Armed.
Armed private security, who those dudes are
A lot of them are cops.
cops. And not only that, but his kids go to the best private schools
Yeah.
where there's armed security and cops.
Right.
And he would never let his kids hang out around your kids.
Right.
And I'm just like, that's awesome, dude. You keep supporting that dude.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, when he needs me or you need me, I'll show up.
Still going to be there.
Still going to be there.
And that's a point that I think is forgotten.
Yeah.
That no matter what your opinion is, no matter how you feel about police officers, no matter what contrived experiences that you say you've had, or maybe you've had a bad experience. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. If you have a problem, I'm still going to show up.
Still going to show
I'm
up.
still going to do my job.
Yeah, I'm there.
And guess what? If during the course of the investigation of that problem, it turns out that you did something too, guess what? You might have to deal with that.
Exactly.
You just might.
It's just funny to me because I was like listening to that and I'm like, now if a cop were to drop a song where he was talking about a certain group of people, that would be all over the news. But no one's even brought light to this song. And the song's probably old. I don't even know how old this song is. I didn't even look into it. But I was just like, dang, that's crazy. That dude really has a song like that.
Oh, it'd be pure controversy.
Pure controversy.
You know? And
yeah. If you've been to jail or beat your wife, fuck you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And everybody be like, well, what's wrong with people that have been to jail? Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Well, I'm just saying, it's my opinion that if you've been to jail, you're a piece of shit. Just like if I'm a cop, I'm a piece of shit, right?
Right.
But then it would just be controversy. And I'm like, that's
I
so
can
crazy.
generalize my opinion just like you can.
Exactly.
Right? It doesn't solve anything.
Doesn't solve anything. Doesn't help anything. That song didn't help anybody.
But would you have less of that? If cops truly engaged in what we see as community-oriented policing, right? Would that change?
Definitely.
To an extent.
I think to an extent, yeah. Definitely.
I think to an extent.
Like you said, there's always going to be people that hate us no matter what because we're that barrier to their ultimate goal, which is to cause chaos.
Of course.
And to kill a community.
And there are bad people.
Bad people.
There
Jeffrey
are people
Dahmer.
with bad souls.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
You know?
He's just killing people.
Just killing people, putting
random people.
Chopping them up.
What a horrible human. There's bad people.
Rubbing their chests.
You know, drug kingpins, drug cartels, those are bad people.
Guys that have made the conscious choice to be criminals.
Yes.
Right?
And hate criminals, this is all I know.
Criminal's no longer a bad word.
Nope.
It's a lifestyle.
Dope boy.
Yep. I mean, it's just like, when did, in certain aspects of our pop culture, we glorify it. And we
glorify the cartel. They have Instagram pages with millions of followers.
Right.
They have their own music.
And you know what's great? This is America, and you can do that.
You can do whatever you want. But you have to deal with the consequences.
But sometimes there's consequences. And if you can say those things, if you can express yourself in those ways, I have the right to disagree with you and express myself in that way, right?
Yeah.
The problem is there's a double standard.
Exactly.
There's a massive double standard.
Double standard.
This podcast could even be considered based on some of the crazy shit we've said on here.
God, some of the nutso stuff we've said.
You could construe as crossing a certain line, right?
Yep.
But is it?
Nope, I don't think so.
No. Because what have we been able to accomplish with this podcast? We have literally had people tell us, you can read it, it's on our iTunes reviews. People commenting about the change in how they view us, cops, because of this podcast.
And I'm just being real.
Right? This allows us to have a different forum, right?
Yep.
This allows us to speak freely. To an extent. We have to edit certain things.
Yeah.
But those are based on agreements, with
Yeah.
employers, etc. And there's reasons behind that.
Of course.
Because we do say some stupid shit sometimes.
Yeah, they don't want any part of that.
No, not at all.
They don't want any part of that.
No, and
I totally get that. If I owned a business or a company and somebody wanted to do that, I'd be like, hey, as long as you don't say that you work here, I'm fine with that. Because those are, they say it all the time on the movies or whatever. The views expressed in this are not those of MGM.
Well, and you'll see just on our social media pages, just like any other police-related social media page, you'll see everywhere it says opinions are our own and do not represent any police or law enforcement agency, however you want to word it.
Yeah.
Right? But we have opinions.
Yeah, I mean, this is not a popular opinion with some people.
No.
Some people think that going out into the community and doing this affects the community. In my opinion, I think it should be the other way around.
My problem is that we got a piece of paper in front of us and we're just checking boxes.
Yeah.
We're just checking boxes, but there's nothing behind it.
Nope.
And that's the most frustrating thing for me, is that there's nothing behind it. We're not doing anything with it.
Nope.
Oh, I took some pictures. Cool.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
What did we do for the community?
Nothing.
And that's really what it's about. If we want to affect change and we want to change culture, you have to change the way that you police the community.
Right.
And it can't, it has to be a happy medium.
It has to be.
And like I said, it looks great on paper to just do this and be officer friendly, but that doesn't change the problems that the communities are having.
And again, there's some things you can't overlook because there are laws in place.
Yeah.
Right? There's other things you can compromise on.
Yep.
Lesser on the severity scale, you can compromise on.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Maybe that even means, you have this house and this house and this house and this house all in the neighborhood, and they like to party it up on the weekends, and it causes problems for everybody else. Okay, well, maybe a solution to that, it's not a perfect solution, but maybe a solution to that is once a month, why don't you just have a block party? Why don't everybody get together and just have a party?
Have a party.
Get it out of your system.
Just get a special permit.
Say, hey, listen, guys, you're going to be spending tons of money in these citations for noise complaints, right?
Yeah.
Or
you can come and get a special permit for a special event,
which we'll happily give to you.
Yeah.
And then you guys can have a block party. Party it up.
Party it up.
And if you want to include in that, you can hire off-duty officers to do security for y'all.
It's a win-win.
Shit gets too crazy. Obviously, we got to deal with it. But, I mean, come on now.
Yeah.
Solutions, right?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head when you said we have to get with community leaders. That's the best way to do it.
I think that's where it has to start.
Yeah. The conversation has to start there.
Right. And then you push down into the rest of the organization.
Because then some communities may not want you.
Maybe not.
They may not think they need you.
Maybe not. And you know what?
And that's fine.
We're
still going to be here. We're still going to police. We just wanted to include you on the conversation.
Yeah. And they may not want you there. And it may be a matter of it's a process over time.
Yeah.
To prove your worth to them.
Yeah.
Right? And there is some aspect of that. There has to be a mutual respect.
Well, it's just like when we work with gang members.
Right.
Like me and you both know I'm never going to call you out in front of your kid.
No.
Because there's some respect there.
Right.
Sure, I know you're a gangbanger, and sure, you know I'm a cop. But you're with
and you
your
know
kids.
that I know that you know that
yeah,
I know
exactly.
that you know. And
but your kid's right there. I'm not going to be like, hey, come to the back. Let me document you real quick. You haven't even committed a crime, bro.
Right.
You're with your kid. I'm going to let you slide.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But next time
I see you. And they'll be cool with that. They'll be like, nah, man, that fool's cool.
Yeah.
He saw me with my kid and didn't even stress me.
How many gang members have we dealt with together?
Yeah.
And it's not, take my past stuff out of it. Just since we've worked together, right?
Tons.
How many gang members have we dealt with where there's this mutual level of respect? Because one, I wasn't a dick to you, right?
Nope.
And you know how the game's played.
Exactly.
It's not, you're not dumb.
Yeah.
Well, you're a little dumb. But you're not so stupid. You're not so ignorant that you don't understand how it works.
Exactly.
Right? You know that if you do this, here I am, and you're going to go to jail. Right.
Yeah. And we've had, how many gang members have we had come up to us and tell us thank you?
Yeah.
Hey man, I appreciate it.
Yep. Maybe even slip some information in there somewhere. You know. And that's the other thing. You want to talk about developing criminal intelligence?
This is the best people to get intelligence from, because just because they're in a gang or were in a gang doesn't mean they like the foul shit that goes on around
You
them.
gotta realize in most gang structures, right?
Yeah.
You do have a core group of just bad motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Right? These are people that just they don't need to be in society. Right?
Yeah.
But your outliers are lost. They're lost people.
Yep.
They're lost people that feel like they need to belong to a family, and it presented it to them. They get inside of it, and then it's like, shit, I got to pay up.
And then when they get their own family, they realize that was the wrong family that I was looking for.
A lot of them do.
And they realize that that's some foul shit going on around them, and they want us to know. They just don't want to tell them who it came from. And I can respect that.
And at the end of the day, though, those people are easy pickings. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way, but they're easy pickings. You want to get shit done, those are the people you turn.
Yeah,
right?
Those are the people you talk to. Those are the people you actually build contact with.
But you have to give them enough respect to not burn them.
Exactly.
In the end.
Exactly.
You know?
You can't say little stomach ache told me that y'all was selling dope over here.
Now, sometimes you're going to have to. Sometimes those
dudes... I'm just going to use his real name, Walter. Who the fuck is Walter?
Well, sometimes Walter's got to go to jail.
That's a little stomach ache.
You can only throw so many favors out. You can only let so many things slide. But there has to be some of that. Yeah, it's just like making that partnership work with the community. You got to let some stuff slide.
Yeah.
Nothing severe.
No.
But you got to come to a compromise.
You ran a stop sign. I can respect it.
To me, it's common sense policing.
Yeah.
It's common sense. And maybe that should be the correct term for it. Not community-oriented policing, but common sense policing.
Maybe. We should coin that. Don't nobody steal that. We're coining it.
Trademarked.
Trademarked. I called it.
Hashtag common sense policing.
Hashtag common sense policing.
Copyright Street Warrior Radio 2018.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
I just saw Moana for the first time yesterday.
Oh, the movie?
The Polynesian princess.
Yeah.
You're welcome. She's a cartoon, and I'm pretty sure she's underage.
She's hot. Pretty sure she's 18.
You're out of control. Pretty sure she's 18.
And off the cliff we went.
There it is. Hey. Right there.
Hey, you know what?
God, what's wrong with you?
I'm not going to lie, but if, Jasmine became a real person.
Now, Jasmine's definitely over 18. She was getting ready to get married.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see they're making the live action Aladdin?
No.
Will Smith is playing the genie. Don't you roll your eyes at Will Smith.
Oh my God.
He's going to be great.
You can't. Okay. All right. I'll give it a chance.
Oh, that's all I'm asking.
I'll give it a chance.
That's all I'm asking.
I'll give it a chance.
The preview looks amazing.
Yeah.
He's not in the preview, though.
Of course not. Because that'll just turn people off.
It comes out
this
May of next year.
This racist society we live in just will not accept that.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know who I started following on Instagram?
Who?
Elvis Aldra.
Oh, the next Bond.
He's a beautiful man, though. I don't think he's going to be the next Bond.
I thought that was a done deal.
Nope, not a done deal. They're actually thinking of either the dude who played Martin Luther King in Selma, or
no.
Yep.
No.
Or, yep.
Look,
or the dude who played Black Panther.
Okay, I don't. Okay, this is gonna sound a certain way. I get that.
Just don't say it. Just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Don't say it.
Well, I know.
Just say they're
Daniel Craig's doing number 25. That's his last one.
Allegedly.
No, they're filming it. But
don't say it. Just don't say it. Just leave it alone.
It's not that. It's not what you're thinking. It's why is there a push? What's the agenda behind the push?
Because he's black.
Right, but I mean, why? I get that, right? And it is what it is. I don't care.
There's no more beautiful white men to play James Bond.
Oh, but there is.
Name one. Tom Hardy.
Mm-hmm. They were talking about him. I just don't think he would do it right.
First of all, I'm a little Tom Hardy'd out.
First of all,
did
you see Venom?
No.
I didn't either. I didn't.
You know who I heard it was good though. You know who I think should be Bond?
Who?
Matthew McConaughey.
That wouldn't even work at all. That'd be
what
fucking hilarious.
What are you talking about?
Though.
Matthew McConaughey could totally be Bond. He had AIDS in a movie once.
He's not British though.
So he could put a British accent on.
Imagine that Texas twang with a British accent.
He's a method actor, sir. He could have a British accent.
He couldn't do that. He couldn't do Bond.
Let's see who else could be Bond.
I'll tell you what.
If
of
we're
all
gonna
the
have
Bonds,
Michael B. Jordan should be Bond. He's a beautiful man.
God. look, I know there's a lot of people out there that love Michael B. Jordan.
I love Michael B. Jordan.
And there's a lot of people out there that for some reason think he's a great actor.
He's a immaculate actor. I'm pretty sure he's going to win an Academy Award for Creed 2.
I am excited about that. Simply because...
You like the Rocky series?
Listen, Rocky's the only series that's so preposterous that you could literally go, God, I can't think of shit to write for a movie plot. I know.
We're going to train for 20 minutes.
Drago's son. Rocky 4, it all makes sense, right? And it's so stupid and unrealistic, but people are going to go, yeah, that makes sense.
It does make sense.
And they're going to go for
Drago's son is calling out Apollo Creed's son.
Now, I want to see if in that movie... Sly and Dolph.
They're not.
Oh, they should go just one time.
They
not
should
in the
be
ring.
the undercard.
Not in the ring.
Oh,
Like they just see each other and just like...
Start throwing haymakers.
If he dies, he dies. And then they just fucking just go at it.
That'd actually be pretty
That'd be pretty
dope.
fucking cool, wouldn't
That'd be dope.
Yeah. Rocky, unfortunately, the way they built that character, would die. But...
What I don't understand is how they're like, you got a terminal brain injury. If you ever fight again, you'll die. Enter Tommy Morrison.
Who beats the shit out of him.
But then he goes and fights Antonio Tarver in a heavyweight fucking fight.
Who literally, during the filming of the movie, knocks Sylvester Stallone out. Because he wanted realism.
Michael B. Jordan got knocked out in Creed, the first one.
I believe that.
Yeah, same thing. He wanted realism. He got knocked the fuck out. You can find it on YouTube. They're like doing the timing, and then the boxer just got the timing off, and it was just you just see him collapse.
That sucks.
And you see Michael B. Jordan, like, he's getting ready for it. He's like, he's breathing, and they're doing the whole twist because they're, he's getting ready to fake the punch. Yeah. And then that dude just gets the timing off by like a second and knocks him the fuck out.
I'm waiting to see when we have a movie, because you know it's coming. You know it's coming. There's going to be a fight movie where Conor McGregor becomes an actor. You know it's going to happen.
He's going to be in probably one of those next Expendable movies. Like Rhonda was?
Yeah, they did the MMA theme on what was the third one?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, they had all that.
She was the bartender.
What's her name in it? Gina...
Sir Carvano. Smoking. They're actually thinking about doing a female Bond.
I'm done with this podcast. You just told me shit that just makes no sense. Yeah, I'm going to say it. That makes no sense.
Well, I mean... The reason I say that it makes no sense, and even it makes no sense to have an African American or a British African as the actor, is because the book is written as a white man.
I know. That's my problem. Why are we trying to change just for the sake of PC culture?
It would just be like an Agatha Christie novel coming to life and the characters are black. None of the characters in her movies are in her books are ever black. They're all like old Scottish white people. Because it takes place in
the fucking old ass England.
Yeah. It wouldn't make sense. It's not how it's written.
You're just changing the narrative to simply change the narrative.
Yeah,
right?
It's just like how they messed up Star Wars.
And there's nothing racist about that opinion. It's just
how it's written.
It's what it is.
It'd be like having a white person play Kunta Kinte in Roots.
God, that would be fucking hilarious.
What's your name, boy?
No, you know what would be funny?
Don't.
Dave Chappelle's blind fucking
Clayton Bixby.
Yes.
It's horrible.
That's not a funny story at all.
It's not funny.
No, it's a very serious, very serious television series.
Yes, very serious.
Poor LeVar Burton. Reading Rainbow, motherfucker.
You can read a book on the rainbow, but you don't know your name, boy.
You fucking Samuel L. Jackson's character from Django.
You gonna get it right.
Oh, God.
We might as well burn the sheets, too. That is one of the best racist characters
of
in
all
a movie
time.
All time.
Of all time. And only he could have played it.
Who is that on that mag? That there's Django. That is so great.
That movie is like every bad caricature of like... It's so great, though. It's so great.
I don't understand how Samuel L. Jackson did that movie with a straight face sometimes.
Oh, you know Jamie Foxx was laughing his ass off.
Dude, I would have been dying.
Oh, my God. That line right there.
When he's like, where's the German girl? Oh, she tried to run away. We got her in the hot box. I hope he didn't tear her back up too much. Well, the boys got to her a minute ago.
Oh God.
He's
We're
like,
laughing about a movie about
he's
slavery.
like, go get her out of the hot box. Oh, she tried to run away. What good is having a German-speaking gal if you can't use it when you need it? Just like, what is going? That movie is horrible.
Oh, horrible.
I was like, I remember seeing it in theaters, and I was like, I can't believe they let this shit on movie screens, but it's
Dude,
it's gold.
we watched it together.
Because you had never seen
Well,
it.
because I'd never seen it.
Yeah, that's right.
I was laughing my ass off. I don't think it's supposed to be all that funny.
It's hilarious.
But it's fucking hilarious.
The movie's great.
Yeah. Two cops laughing about slavery movie. That's great.
I'm African American.
Kind of. That doesn't mean you get a pass.
I had to pull that card out a couple
When?
weeks ago.
For what?
A parent was like, called me, was like, I feel like my son is being stereotyped because he's black. I was like, I'm black. It was silence on both ends of the phone.
Well, they didn't pull the other argument on you?
What?
The one that lots of black cops get?
Oh, you sell out?
Yeah.
Nah. They didn't go that far. I was just like, I'm black. And they were just like,
I had a partner a while
well,
back.
well, my son lied to me then.
When I worked plainclothes, my first partner was Hispanic. And he got called a race traitor
Oh, yeah.
by another Hispanic male.
Oh, yeah.
And the guy wasn't even involved in anything. I mean, it was crazy. It was just like, I don't know. That's a perspective I don't have.
Yeah, you don't have that one.
I don't have that.
Not yet.
It's coming though.
No, it's coming.
It's coming.
You have white privilege, though.
If I have white privilege, I want a refund.
See, I just read this book.
Because if
that talks about white privilege.
If my life has been what you call privilege,
and it says white people don't even realize they have white privilege.
Oh, okay, all right.
And I believe that you just made that theory true.
Well, maybe so. I don't know.
I just did a research paper on PTSD veterans and prescribing them marijuana.
It's a very important topic.
Well, this article said that it wasn't very good.
Really?
Yep. It said because of the paranoia and the anxiety that smoking certain strands of marijuana can give you.
Yeah.
And they said it was actually better to give them CBD oils instead of actually letting them smoke true plant.
Well,
that was actually how they put it, true plant.
Well, there's other THC treatments or derivatives that have proven, without a shadow of a doubt, to be 100% effective and useful. Right?
They actually found that there's a pill. It's actually no THC. It's called like Naboline or something like that. Naboline was actually more effective in treating veterans with. But see, this is what I didn't like, and I spoke about this in my paper. They only broke it down into 4 categories of PTSD: not wanting to deal with the trauma, reliving the trauma, not talking about it, or just unable to sleep. Those were the only 4 forms of PTSD that they tested.
Okay.
And I was like, well, then that's how I found out. I was like, well, this isn't a true study.
Yeah.
Because you didn't test every form of PTSD with every form of marijuana. And I was like, they only picked one strand of marijuana as well. They didn't test different strands to see how different strands made them feel. And they also didn't have a placebo group. So it's
not a true study.
It was not a true study. It was just a study, in their opinion, to, I think, from reading it, to have the pharmaceuticals produce more drugs.
They might as well have brought in a group of veterans who were completely just ridden with PTSD and fed them a bowl of edibles and said, well, good luck to you.
Pretty much. That's pretty much what they did.
Yeah.
They were just like, whenever they smoked True Plant, but see, this is what was crazy. When they gave them True Plant, our THC oils, our CBD oils, their percentage of like dealing with the PTSD lowered. So they were like, yeah, their stuff lowers, but then we have to deal with other problems from smoking the plant.
But when they say true plant, though,
they mean like bud, like breaking up bud and smoking bud. I get that,
but where is that coming from?
Exactly. They didn't tell that, and that's what I said too. I was like, they didn't tell you what strand. They didn't tell you what the potency of it was. Are we talking
some shit that was grown in a field somewhere? Are we talking about hydro? What are we talking about?
They just said true plant.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, it was a bullshit study. I hope I got a good grade on it. It's worth 150 points.
Yeah, because that's so counterintuitive. That study right there, is so counterintuitive from every other one that's been conducted.
Yep.
Right.
And I did bring that up too. But we were only allowed to use one study, but I did bring that up in my article.
Yeah.
So.
Well, good for you. Good for you.
Yeah.
Fighting the good fight.
Fighting the good fight.
Fighting the days when we can get high.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty interesting. It was like one of the 100 articles I could choose from, so that was the one I picked.
So that's the one you picked.
It's the one I picked. All the other ones were dumb. They were stupid stuff I didn't really care about, but I care about my vets.
Yeah.
Especially the ones with PTSD.
Yeah.
And if there's anything out there, I don't care what it is, that can help them. If they told me tomorrow cocaine will help people with PTSD, I'd be like, let's legalize cocaine for veterans.
Shit up my nose.
Yeah, let's legalize cocaine for veterans. Those people serve their country, and some of them can't even sleep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, cocaine's not going to help with that.
No, but at least it'll make them forget.
For a few minutes.
I need another line.
Wow!
Let me tell you about the time I was in Kandahar. That's okay, Jim. Go sit down. You got it. Whoa! I say, goddamn, what a rush.
What's the fucking... Oh, no. God, why can't I remember it? What's that? The Dave Chappelle, Rick James.
Oh, yeah.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Well,
No,
Rick James actually said it, but...
No, I wasn't putting my feet on their couch. What I look like putting my feet on their couch?
Fuck your couch.
Yeah, I put my feet on their couch. He rich, he could buy another one. Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Fucking Charlie Murphy.
Charlie Murphy was great.
Oh, my God. Greatest ever.
So,
Dude, speaking of great comedians, I watched the latest Ron White.
you told me about that.
Bro, I laughed so I was in tears. Like I couldn't even like breathe.
Really?
It's fucking hilarious.
See, my girlfriend hates stand-ups, so I have to watch them when like she goes to sleep, and then it's horrible because I can't enjoy my laughter.
I got a part with the old Joe Rogan on one person. So he pushes that dude Theo Vaughn.
I've never heard of him.
So he's been.
Is he goofy with glasses? Looks Jewish? No. Okay, never mind.
Mm-mm.
That's his other homeboy then.
So he's been on several of his podcasts or whatever. But I actually watched one of his stand-ups the other day, and I was so annoyed, like 5 minutes into it, by the way he talks that I turned it. I couldn't do it.
Oh.
It was not funny at all. It was not funny at all.
Bro, I just took a law enforcement class with someone like that, and I was so mad from the first 5 minutes of this dude talking. He had a Hispanic accent, a lisp, and he had way too much spit in his mouth.
So Theo,
And I was so upset. I was like, I can't deal with this guy talking.
So Theo Vaughn's a goofy-looking white dude, right? Who talks like a black guy from New Orleans.
Oh, okay.
He's from New Orleans.
Well, that's why he talks like a black guy from New Orleans. He just talks like someone from New Orleans.
But it's like he's trying to be something that he's not.
It could be.
You know what I mean? But it's just the way his delivery and the way it just was not funny at all. I was really disappointed.
I
was really disappointed
when you really want to see a funny comedian and then it's just not funny.
Yeah, and I went from Ron White to that, and I was just like, I'm done.
See, that's where you messed up. Once you see a good stand-up, you got to go like a week or two without watching another stand-up. Because you're up here.
Yeah.
You're up here, and you're expecting everything else to be that funny, and it's just not.
Well, and I watched Rogan's newest one, Strange Times.
Was that any funny? I haven't
funny
started
as
it.
Shit, dude. Not as funny. I mean, it was funnier than his previous one.
It's funnier than the previous one.
Yes. Oh, by far.
What is that one called? Something monkeys?
Triggered. Yeah. This one, Strange Times, hilarious. He does this thing between the difference between cats and dogs. That's just, it's unbelievable. It's so fucking funny. It's just hilarious. That newest Ron White one, I think it's called
I saw it. I saw it on Netflix.
If You Quit Listening, I'll Shut Up or something like that.
He's actually coming to
Windstar,
Oklahoma, yeah.
Yeah, I know. I looked up the tickets.
Did you?
Then I turned it off.
Ridiculous pricing.
Yeah, dude. Like, I'm really surprised for a stand-up comedian. Like, I know he's a big deal, but I mean,
he's a big deal. I need to go to Windstar.
He's who I want to be when I get old.
I haven't gambled in a while.
You getting the itch?
No, don't laugh at my Twitch. Stress induced.
All right,
telling you.
Big Bo.
Yes, sir.
Where can the peeps find us?
First of all, you can find us on the website at streetwarriorradio.com is the website. Streetwarriorradio.com is the website. Really great website. We've got our new store on there, and the store is what again?
Street Warrior Shop.
Streetwarriorshop.com. But if you don't want to go to that and you want to just visit our awesome new website that we just redesigned, well, JC redesigned it. I didn't do anything. I just told him it looked awesome. I didn't even really look at it. And I just told him it looked awesome. But then I went back and looked at it. That makes total sense. No, and then I told him it looked awesome after I went and looked at it. But when he first sent me, I was like, oh, yeah, great, brother. I was doing homework. But no, it looks awesome. It's totally decked out. He's got it super high speed. And then you can click on the shop at the top, and then it'll take you. We've got some really good shirts on there. We've got hats on there for a limited time. And through the month of November, if you use SWR15, you get 15% off and free shipping on orders over $50.
But if your order does not equal $50, on your first time order, you can use the code WarriorFree.
Yep.
And get free shipping.
So go on there, support the podcast. That's the best way to do it, is to buy the merch, man. Get the word out so people see you and they're like, Street Warrior Radio Podcast, what's that? And you can tell them how awesome we are.
Which, it works.
It does work.
I was in a restaurant the other day.
Boom.
Wore the Texas flag shirt, and the waiter asked me all about it.
Yep, we got an Arizona flag, a Texas flag, and an American flag shirt. And Canadian flag. And then just the regular logo that you see on all our social media. Social media, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. All you got to do is go in your search bar and put Street Warrior Radio in there. We'll pop up. And you can find out what's going on with us, catch the latest episodes. If you want to catch the latest episodes, you can find those on Google Play, iHeartRadio, Spotify, TuneIn, iTunes, YouTube. You can find us on Twitch now. We're all over the place, guys. We're trying to get big. We're trying to blow up, get the word out there. Follow us, subscribe, like, and share. All that good stuff, man. This podcast doesn't happen without you guys.
Absolutely.
Did I miss anything? I think I hit it all right there.
I think you did.
God, I'm good. I'm getting good.
Rapid fire.
Pow, 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 pow. And also, if you have any questions about anything, you want a specialized shirt with maybe your state flag on it, go to info@streetwarriorradios.com. Drop us a line. JC can make that happen. Mm-hmm. Hit us up on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Say, hey, where's the Michigan flag shirt at? Hey, man, we can help you out. We can get you there, all right? So just hit us up on Instagram, Facebook, social media, the website, streetwarriorradio.com. I just got a text from somebody who ordered one of our products and said, I just got my product and I'm not even at home. They're in Seattle right now.
Oh, was that our Arizona fan?
Yep.
Sweet. All right. And with that, I want to thank our men and women of the armed forces. Thank you for going out there every day, going overseas, protecting us, protecting our way of life, this beautiful republic that we have.
Yes, sir.
To our men and women of our first responders, our police, fire, paramedics, thank you for what you do. Remember your oath. Go out there, do the right thing. To the families of our first responders and military, thank you for what you do. Your sacrifice is noted. Your support is noted. We appreciate you. And to all the other people out there,
Cowboys lost 14-28.
Oh, my God. I'm so sorry.
Come on, man.
We
didn't score anything after the second half.
Well, it's because Cowboys suck.
Wow.
And everybody else out there, thank you. We love you and appreciate you. With that, Street Warrior Radio is out of service.
Salute.